But there was another player that said something about it, man. Scalabrine was on Kevin Garnett's podcast. I think this was last year, maybe a little bit more than last year. But he said something very interesting because not only do we have to look at the fact that the league isn't allowing real defense anymore, so now we have to look at 30 points different than what we looked at 30 points before. Like, 30 points that Kobe got, 30 points that Michael got, those 30 points was against elite real defense that they allowed to happen, right? Versus the 30 points against defense that they're legislating out of the game. Like, we're not even going to allow this player to be stopped. That 30 points is totally different, right? So this 35 that Luka is averaging, or this 34 that Luka is averaging, is not the same as the 34 that Kobe averaged. The 35 that James Harden averaged is not the same as the 35 that Kobe and Michael averaged. It's just not. But on the flip side, you got to look at how much energy was expended on the defensive end for Kobe and Mike as well. Because remember, they were the Michael Jordan on offense and the Michael Jordan on defense, right? Luka is not the Michael Jordan on defense. He's not even close to it, right? So imagine the energy of getting 35 points and then turning around and being one of the best defenders in the league at the same time. Just imagine that. Who's the best defender in the league now, perimeter-wise? At one point, it used to be Kawhi, right? But who was the last person to get Defensive Player of the Year? Maybe Marcus Smart, or you take a Drew Holiday, he's known for his defense, or Jimmy Butler. You take players like that who are that good on defense. Drew Holiday takes the most demanding offensive assignment almost every game, and it don't even matter what position it is. It could be Kevin Durant. They're gonna put Drew Holiday on him on a 7-footer, right? Or it could be Tatum. Well, he's his teammate now, but it could be Dame Lillard. It could be Kyrie. It could be small, quick, big, fast. It don't matter. They putting him on him. Imagine if he had to turn around and give you 35 at the same time. That's what Mike was doing. Imagine doing what Drew Holiday does on defense and then turn around and do what Luka does on offense as far as scoring, right? It's a big difference. Basketball is broken up into halves. 50% of the game is offense and 50% of the game is defense. Or 50% of the game is scoring and 50% of the game is defense. So scoring and defending is the full game. Luka's not doing 50% of the game. He's only doing 50% of he's doing half of the game. He's doing scoring. He's not doing defending at a high level. Imagine that. So how could you ever take a guy who's doing both and ever have them in the same conversation, the same discussion? So Scalabrine kind of said the same thing. This is how he talked about superstars and who we consider a superstar and who we shouldn't.
The things I don't like about the NBA is when we anoint teams and players that aren't two-way players. So I like two-way players. And I think a lot of that has to do with, so my career was, Jersey, Celtics, Bulls. And the best player was Kidd, you, Rose. You guys took so much pride defensively. So I just know the league like that. I don't like it when guys don't take pride on that side of the ball. I think it's kind of embarrassing to anoint people stars, superstars, or guys that we say they're future MVPs if they ain't playing both sides of the ball. And I don't think that we talk about that enough. When we talk about MVP and stuff like that, we only talk about offense. We don't talk about the defensive side. So that's the only thing I don't like about the NBA now. But I do love the pace, the space, the spacing. I do like the beautiful game that it is. I just don't like when we anoint stars without defense.
He spoke the whole truth. While we're anointing guys as stars and superstars, and you know what? I don't mind a guy that plays one end of the court being considered a superstar, because Luka is 100% a superstar. I ain't taking nothing away from him. But when you get in a conversation amongst other superstars and those superstars happen to be two-way players, I have to bring you down a notch. And if we take that with the current superstars is in the league, I think Tatum is a superstar. I think Kevin Durant is a superstar. I think SGA is a superstar. I think Anthony Edwards is a superstar. I think Anthony Davis is a superstar. I think Giannis is a superstar. I think Booker is a superstar. When you start naming these guys are two-way players. They're playing. I think De'Aaron Fox is a superstar. These guys, you can put De'Aaron Fox, if you watch him in that series against the Warriors, it was him. Like he had to put up as much points as Steph and then guard Steph and chase him around. Steph wasn't guarding Fox. Fox was guarding Steph very well and then putting up the same amount of points. That's a huge responsibility, right? And I'm not saying Steph is a slouch defensively, but you're not going to use Steph to go stop and shut somebody. Hey, we need you to guard this dude without help. That Steph is not your guy for that. But Steph is a better defender than Luka, for sure. He puts in more effort than Luka. So these are two-way players. There's always an exception to the rule. There are some players who just would never be that good defensively just naturally because they got slow feet. Most of those players usually play in the post. Like Jokic, yeah. I mean, he's not going to block. Like what a job of a 7-footer is to protect the rim. So Jokic is not doing it at a high level. He's not protecting the rim and going over and blocking shots from the weak side or whatever. He's not doing it. Embiid is. Gobert is, but Jokic is not. And Jokic is also not out there stopping nobody on the perimeter because of his slow feet, right? So only thing we can expect from Jokic, you're probably never going to be an elite defender. However, your effort needs to be A+. You can't be a below average defender and have below average effort, which is what we was getting from Luka for years. I think his effort is a little bit more this season. I see it more. So I give him credit wise. I see it more now, right? But for years, his effort was not there at all. And he was dog food on defense. Like they was picking on him. They picked on him in the Phoenix series. I mean, the Phoenix game last week, they picked on him. We just go at Luka, and it worked. It worked. And the crazy thing about it is all the guys I named are not in the MVP discussion, but Luka is. Like Tatum is the best player on the best team in the league with the best defense and a top 3 offensive rating. He's averaging 28 and 9 rebounds and 5 assists or something like that. And then he plays elite defense. But the way the NBA has trained the fan and trained the media is to say, well, Luka is averaging close to a triple-double. We value that. We value the triple-double more than we value winning. We value the triple-double more than we value defense. So the defense that Tatum is playing and the winning that he is doing is valued less than the triple-double that Luka is averaging, even though Luka is almost out of the playoff race. You know, he was just the 8 seed that they got a win against Orlando, so I think they jumped to the 6 seed. So he's in the play-in. And if they have a bad night in that play-in, they're not even in the playoffs. So he's on the verge of not making the playoffs. So the winning is not really there. Only thing that's there is the assists and the amazing 73-point nights and the triple doubles. It's just the triple doubles and amazing performances. When did we start valuing amazing performances over winning and over defense? Amazing performances and triple doubles should never come before defense, man. Never.